Can you show me your cucumber? That's pretty cool, man. Here, I'll take the top off.
Wait, I could punch it off.
Welcome to Healing Home, where we discuss all things homemaking, homesteading, homeschooling, all through the scope of faith and the gospel. Recently, I received a couple of comments wanting to know if I was going to do more homeschool videos, and I decided that it would be fun to discuss and explore what our homeschool routine looks like this year. I'm also a full-time working mom, so our homeschool routine varies according to my workload and schedule for the week. Our two oldest boys will be attending a homeschool co-op on Mondays starting next week, and our youngest two will be going to Oma and Peepa, Grandma and Grandpa daycare. My mom and dad have generously agreed to continue the boys' lesson one other day a week to allow me to go into the office for another day of work. Although I'm very grateful and blessed, it makes our planning our week another level of complicated as I try to get materials to them and plan out the week in a way that makes sense for both of us. We are home 3 days a week besides that, and that is where this homeschool routine comes into play. Wyatt is in first grade, West in preschool, and honestly, Wilder refuses to be left out, so he comes along for the ride, but I don't do anything formal with him. Regardless if you homeschool or not, I hope that this look into our homeschool week, which is more than just curriculum, will inspire and encourage you on your own homemaking journey. We are in our 5th week of homeschooling, and our goal is to be done homeschooling early April 2025 when we welcome our 5th baby into the world. It was a very unexpected pregnancy, and we're still a little bit shocked. Baby 5 will be an Irish twin to Waylon and should be born just a little more than 12 months after him. Every life is a gift, and although we are overwhelmed in every way possible, we are looking forward to getting to know this little life and watch him grow. If you are a praying person, would you mind saying some prayers for wisdom for us in getting a new vehicle? We don't see a way forward to get a new vehicle that safely fits our family. Our current vehicle doesn't even safely fit everyone, and adding another one to our vehicle will almost be impossible. And just in full transparency, it's causing me a lot of anxiety and worry, so I would covet your prayers. The first trimester is going well. Baby Waylon just turned 5 months, and as I've shared before, my 4th baby has been a real struggle to nurse and feed. I'm sort of nursing only on demand, which for him is very little. In the end, it probably will be a blessing, as I don't really have much of a desire to tandem nurse. Moving on from our little life update, back to the theme of the week, which is our homeschool routine. Our 5th baby's arrival will mean an adjustment to this year's schedule. But that's one of the nice things about homeschooling. We have a never-ending amount of flexibility based on life circumstances. We have been homeschooling for 3 years, so most people would consider us newbies. However, I'm a teacher by trade and have taught in some capacity in pre-K, elementary, middle school, and high school. By no means am I a homeschooler education expert, but I will say that I feel very comfortable in this realm. It doesn't mean that I don't seek out advice from other more experienced homeschoolers. In fact, I kind of would say it's just the opposite. My level of comfort means that I find great value in seeking out those who know more and are more experienced. I say all of this to hopefully humbly admit that I don't know everything and I don't have everything figured out. These are just our experiences and routines. They are unique to us and our family. There is no secret formula to homeschooling. Everyone does it in their own unique way. This week's video is brought to you by Truly Free. I have been on a clean living and toxic-free lifestyle journey since around 2010. I have tried it all when it comes to personal care products, household products, and cleaners. The thing is, when it comes to laundry cleaners and dishwasher cleaners, you need a detergent, and that is not something that is typically easy to produce in a DIY manner. I have grated down soap, boiled products together, and truly tried everything, and always been disappointed with the results. Even other supposed non-toxic products have eventually failed the non-toxic test in my house in one way or another, mostly because of our country's truly ridiculous standards for marketing and trade secret laws. I've become skeptical of companies that claim toxic-free, but Truly Free has won me over. Truly Free is on a mission to free over 10 million homes from toxic chemicals and excess plastic waste. One thing I love about Truly Free is that their products are water-free. Water is a prime place for bacteria to grow, especially after a product sits. One of the things I look for in toxic-free products is that water is not listed on the label. Of course, you will add water to these products eventually, but I think that the key here is that these bottles from Truly Free are not sitting for months and months before they enter your home. Their water-free minimal packaging helps you reduce your carbon footprint and maintain a spotless home. I could go on and on about these products, but for now, I'll just say that I'm truly sold on Truly Free, their mission and guidelines for toxic-free products. They create innovative and powerful and family-safe products in reliable and reusable packaging, which empower families to protect themselves from harm and reduce their environmental footprint. You can use my code HEALINGHOME and get a full 30% off your order. Our days at home start with me getting up around 2 to 3 a.m. to work for at least 5 hours between my normal job and business. This means that I typically end work between 8 and 9 a.m. During that time, my boys honestly have some screen time and then some additional free time to play and imagine. During the colder winter months, they often use this time for art or building. Because of my work routine, breakfast is very loosey-goosey and is honestly something I have struggled with forming a routine with. I wish we had a peaceful breakfast scene, but usually it's hard-boiled eggs, fruit, sourdough, or cheese. That's just in full transparency and honesty. After I clock out of work, I head down to our guest room / workout room for about a 25-minute jog and workout. This time is really non-negotiable for me right now. It clears my brain from work, resets my body, and honestly is the way I decompress so I can focus on my kids again. Without this time, I honestly can't homeschool effectively. That's just my reality right now. This is also the time when the boys complete their chore list, which is typically on the fridge. We use a chore chart that I can rotate the tasks with. I actually have this one on my blog and in my Etsy store if you're interested in picking it up. They clean their rooms, pick up clothes, and then there are some more leveled up chores that we go back and forth with, getting them to take ownership of, like feeding the animals, gathering eggs, and walking the dog. I consider this just as much a part of homeschool and book learning because it is teaching them to take ownership of being a part of our family. Chores is a constant growth area for our rather stubborn boys, but we continue to make it a priority. I have found that for our boys, they are much more likely to do their chores when I'm not hovering around them, which is why it's during my workout is an ideal time for me to remind them to get those things done. Our mid-morning homeschool begins between 9 and 10 a.m. We aim for about 90 minutes of a focused school day, which includes group time, Bible time, workbook time, and planned activities. 90 minutes is more than enough for a first grader, and Westy gets a lot less, maybe like 45 to 60 minutes tops. My boys are just that, boys. They are active, physical, and get distracted a lot by bigger and better items. We're not afraid to forego book learning for practical life skills. Last year, when we butchered our pigs, Wyatt was fascinated by the process, and he spent 2 days with Dan learning how to butcher an animal. Honestly, that is a life skill you can't replicate in a classroom. I'll never regret foregoing book learning those 2 days. I have a blog post on the curriculum we chose this year and why we chose it. I could spend an entire video on just our curriculum choices, so I encourage you to check out the blog post if you're curious about more information on our specific curriculum choices. The main choices for curriculum this year are My Father's World, Learning God's Story, which includes Singapore math, which is a huge part of learning this year. Also, My Father's World, Voyage of Discovery, which is a pre-K curriculum, and then All About Reading, pre-reading level. All About Reading we use for both our first grader and preschooler. It's a great review for Wyatt and is helping to scale up some areas of growth for him, like rhyming, which he had just not understood until this program. They have excellent reading games that help with rhyming and other important reading skills. Our curriculum varies throughout the year as we reevaluate based on our kids' growth. But those 3 curriculum choices are the main choices for this year currently.
School! Yeah.
We start our formal homeschool day with group time. On days where I really feel like I have my act together, wink wink, we start out with some active songs that I use my ukulele with.
Wilder, you ready to stop?
This is mainly to get wiggles out and hopefully help the boys sit still for another about 10 to 15 minutes that it takes to do the group time. During group time, we review our letter of the week, number of the day, do calendar and weather, read a devotional, read our weekly Bible reading verse for memorization, which this year is going to be in Proverbs each week, and then do a game or activity from the All About Reading program. Group time really varies week to week and day to day. On Fridays, I often forego it completely so we can move through our essential materials quicker. I think that it ends up being the boys' favorite part of our homeschool routine, so it is something that I prioritize if I can.
Color the H first. The only thing that I want you guys to make.
After our group time, we head into individual work time. We typically start our time at the table with a quick letter art activity from our All About Reading curriculum. Wyatt really cruises through this, and often Westy takes a little bit more time getting his artwork to his standards. Our biggest fight of the day typically is over who gets to do their individual work time first. I need to figure out how to switch that a little bit, but I haven't quite figured it out. Usually each boy has 2 to 3 items that need individual attention from a grown-up. Individual work time varies throughout the year, but right now Wyatt's focus time usually involves his Singapore math workbooks and reading. I'm very mixed right now about Singapore math. I've honestly already chucked out the textbook and opted to work through the teacher guide and the more hands-on workbook, which still takes a lot of time and wears on Wyatt's patience. I'm honestly evaluating right now if he's even ready for this level of math. I'm debating about if we need to take him down a grade level. I don't have a conclusion yet. So right now we're just doing a lot of helping him and showing him the answers instead of expecting him to know how to do it. Reading is going much better for him, although he seems to be the kind of kid that would rather memorize things instead of learning how to learn it. On to Westy. Westy's pre-K curriculum is much more relaxed. We do a couple of worksheets every week to review letters and numbers. Besides that, it's a lot of activities and reading books together. I really like how Voyage of Discovery focuses on teaching virtues, manners, and life skills throughout the year.
I'm gonna give him back. Here, Mom, take the baby.
One of the most time-consuming parts of my day with homeschooling is cleaning up the tidal wave of mess that comes from homeschooling. I'm a clean-as-I-go type of person, but I learned last year that that is not how to do it with homeschooling. I have to let the mess accumulate to get through the lessons and materials in a time frame that hits the sweet spot of my boys' attention span. Therefore, by the time we are done, there is a lot to clean up. As I've talked about in my other videos, household tasks like cleaning can be a pocket of peace for the homemaker as we refocus and maybe even take a moment to pray and worship. On this particular day, our Bible lesson focused on Esau and Jacob, specifically the story of Esau selling his birthright. This Bible lesson was a part of West's curriculum, but we did it as a family. Part of West's lesson was to make us do like Jacob did, which is exactly what we did. We used as much fresh ingredients from our gardens as we could, like the onions we finished hanging and preserving last week, and fresh tomatoes. Both boys ended up helping out. I started them out with kid-safe knives that I really liked, but ended up letting them use real kitchen knives in the end. They both are quite good at fine motor control, and although we supervised them, they did quite well with the task. My goal with lunchtime is that it signifies the switch from school time to free time and exploring individual interests. In an ideal world, this is also the time when I would do our read aloud book, which currently is still our Lori Ingalls book that we didn't finish last school year. Although that has been in my plans, it hasn't really practically worked out. Maybe we'll get there eventually. Although lunchtime ends our formal educational time, the learning does not stop. The afternoon time is for play and exploring individual interests, which as the boys get older, those interests are starting to bloom. There are so many areas in life where learning continues, like the example I gave earlier of butchering the pigs, or learning to build a fire with Dad, gardening with Mom, cooking dinner together, attending our church's Awana program, or going on a camping adventure with Grandpa and learning about the Iron Range in northern Minnesota. These are just a few examples of the extended learning that our boys do. There are benefits to every model of education: public school, private, homeschool, or some other model that I'm forgetting. My personal belief is that educational choices should be in the hands of capable parents, and that we should all be able to respect the choices of families. We've chosen homeschooling for now, and we love it. Every family is unique, and because of that beautiful uniqueness, we all will choose to educate our families different. What a privilege. I know homeschooling can be a very controversial subject for many people, and I'm not here to shove a homeschool agenda. This is a huge risk for me even to put this on my YouTube channel. I've had many moms reach out to me saying that they want to homeschool, but they are a working mom. I very much know and understand that my flexible work schedule is a blessing that not everyone has, but I do hope that my working mom status helps others to realize that homeschooling and working is possible. It's hard, but possible. There is an accompanying blog post to this video where I have my script modified for a more blog post format. The nice thing about the post is that any resources that I have spoken about are linked in that blog post. We have our chore chart, schedule cards, curriculum choices, and more. I hope that it is helpful to any curious about our homeschooling schedule. I'll end this time of talking about our homeschool routine with this Bible verse, which reminds me of our main reason for homeschooling. 2 Timothy 3:15, and how from childhood you have been acquainted with the sacred writings, which are able to make you wise for salvation through faith in Jesus Christ.